Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. Welcome back to my playthrough of Call of Duty World at War. On this part, we're going to be doing the final two American missions, Blowtorch and Corkscrew and Breaking Point. And this is going to be the Battle of Okinawa, which is the worst battle that the Americans fought in the Pacific. But anyways, let's start up here, and I'll talk a lot of history on this part. Let's do it. Hardened.
Status report? The last few months on Okinawa have taken their toll. Morale is low. It's the rain, sir. And the mud. Tanks are getting bogged down. Supplies aren't getting through. We can't even get the wounded out. Yes, sir. Understood. Document. We're moving out.
What's the skinny?
Major Gordon's ordered another attack on the enemy stronghold beyond this ridge.
Any word on supplies?
They're coming.
When?
Just get up the hill, Polanski.
Okay, so let me talk about this now. This is the Battle of Okinawa, which is the worst battle for the US in the Pacific. And Okinawa, these are part of the Ryukyu Islands that are to the south of Japan. This is actually part of Japan. And if I pronounced it wrong, I apologize there, but I think it's Ryukyu, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyways, about this is this battle lasted from the 1st of April 1945 until June 22nd, 1945, and the Japanese fought for every single inch of Okinawa. And the purpose of the US taking Okinawa was so that they could get another airfield. And now they could hit Japan even closer, because to the north of Okinawa was just Japan. I think it's like 350 miles to the north is Okinawa, or it might be 350 kilometers. But basically, it was to the Ryukyu Islands were to the south of Japan. And so the U.S. wanted to basically seize the airfield at Okinawa and use that to basically hit Japan directly, and also use this to basically plan the mainland invasion of Japan, which was Operation Downfall. And Operation Downfall, it would have been the costliest and largest amphibious invasion in history. This would have even been bigger than D-Day, than the Normandy landings. This was the operation to invade mainland Japan. This never went through because Japan surrendered, because 2 months after the Battle of Okinawa, the atomic bombs were dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Hirohito ordered Japan basically to surrender at that point, and then, negotiations began. And that was the end of World War II. But basically, that's what Operation Downfall was. And Operation Downfall would have had over 1 million Americans would have died, and probably millions of Japanese would have died in that. And the scary thing is, the Purple Heart medal that we actually use, Purple Heart medals are basically given to soldiers when they're wounded in combat. The Purple Hearts that we still give out to this day are actually from the Pacific, because we made so many Purple Heart medals, because when we were expecting to invade Japan, we were expecting so many casualties. Like 1 million casualties. And so the Purple Hearts we use today are still were made for basically the invasion of Japan, which never happened. Now, about the Battle of Okinawa. About this battle, I'll have the stats from Wikipedia up on the screen here. Wikipedia is pretty reliable. But about this is 12,500 Americans died, 50,000 casualties, 19,000 Army, 10,000 Navy, 19,000 Marines. And we also lost 375 tanks, 13 destroyers were sunk during this battle, and there was actually a very large air and naval battle that was actually right outside Okinawa. 1,900 kamikaze attacks during this battle. This battle was absolute hell on earth. And the Japanese, we had about 500,000 men. The Japanese in total, they had a little bit over 100,000 men. They had 76,000 Japanese soldiers and 40,000 Okinawan conscripts. And the Japanese suffered 94,000 soldiers, 94,000 casualties, 94,000 soldiers and sailors, 4,000 dead from the Yamato. The Yamato was the largest battleship in history, is the Yamato. It actually got sunk at the Battle of Okinawa, and the 4,000 losses from that are from the Yamato, and also other ships that were sunk along with the Yamato in its fleet. And we took 7,401 prisoners. Now, about the prisoners, this was the one battle in the Pacific where we took thousands of prisoners, and this was very different than the other battles like, Peleliu, Saipan. The reason this was different was because on those battles, The Japanese fought till the very last man. But here, we actually took thousands of prisoners, but there's a reason for that. The reason is because a lot of the prisoners were Okinawans, or the Ryukyuan people. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize, but the Ryukyuan people, the Okinawans. And about the Okinawa is that Okinawans did not feel Japanese. They were actually conquered by Japan. Now, today, Okinawa and the Ryukyu Islands are part of Japan, but Japan does not recognize the Okinawan language, the Ryukyu language, as a different language. They recognize it as a dialect of Japan, and they don't recognize the Okinawans, the Ryukyuan people, as the indigenous people to the islands. They don't. They basically see them as Japanese as well, so they don't recognize them as indigenous. But about this is that the Ryukyu Islands were their own country. They were their own kingdom. They had their own language as well, their own culture, different from the Japanese. Now, what happened was, back then, hundreds of years ago, Asian empires worked a little bit different than European empires, where European empires basically conquer every single, territory that they came across. How Asian empires did things, they did conquering too, but what Asian empires oftentimes did is that they basically felt that it was too much trouble to go and conquer another empire because it would be a massive drain on their resources, on their manpower, and they would have to occupy a foreign land. So what Asian empires did, and this is what the Chinese did, the Japanese did, the Vietnamese did this. I don't know if the Koreans did that. I'm not sure. They could have done it as well, but I know the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Vietnamese, their empires did this. But basically what they did was they would find smaller kingdoms, smaller, empires, smaller countries. This is like hundreds of years ago. And what they would basically do is, like, for example, with the Ryukyu Islands, the Chinese basically told the Okinawans that we will allow you to be an independent country, but you have to pay us protection money. And you pay us this protection money, we'll protect you also, but it's also a tribute to us. And if you don't pay us this, then we're going to invade you and conquer you. And a lot of these smaller, kingdoms would pay this massive tribute to Vietnam, to China, and to Japan so that they did not get invaded. And that's basically what happened in the Ryukyu Islands, which was part. I think it was the Ryukyu Kingdom. Correct me if I'm wrong. They had their own emperor. They had their own royal family. They paid that to China originally, but then Japan came in. And the Japanese from the Satsuma clan conquered the Ryukyu Islands. And the Satsuma clan, this is when Japan was several warring factions. So Japan was made up of several countries hundreds of years ago. There were several samurai clans that controlled different parts of the country. The southern part of Japan was controlled by the Satsuma clan, and they took over the Ryukyu Islands, and they basically told the Okinawans that, you can keep your kingdom, you can keep your royal family, but you have to keep paying us protection money, or we will, fully conquer you. And that's what they did. They paid it to the Satsuma, clan for like 200 years. And then the Meiji family came in. The Meiji family came in, and then they actually unified Japan, so Japan became one unified country. When that happened, the tribute kept going towards Japan. But what happened is, in the 1860s, Japan actually sent their troops to occupy parts of the Ryukyu Islands, and the Okinawans really had no say in that, because they were paying tribute to Japan. They really had no choice. The Japanese started, sending troops into this independent kingdom. But then what happened was, in 1872, they changed the name of the country from the Japanese changed the name of the country from the Ryukyu Kingdom to the Ryukyu domain. And then in 1879, the Japanese fully annexed it, so they made it actually part of Japan. And when Okinawa became part of Japan itself, what the Japanese did was they heavily discriminated against the Okinawans. They tried to ban their language. They didn't let them speak their language, and they tried to destroy their culture over time. They wanted them to become Japanese, and they basically wanted to erase the Okinawan culture. And to this day, a lot of Okinawan people, people on Okinawa, a lot of them actually do not feel Japanese. Now, I don't know the exact number. That I don't know how many Okinawans feel exactly about this. I tried to Google it, but I found like mixed results on this. What I basically found is there was one poll that I looked at where 30% of people on Okinawa, they felt basically that they were Ryukyuan people, Okinawans, and but 15% felt exclusively Japanese, and then 50% felt both Okinawan and Japanese. So that's basically what it is that it's from what I've seen in the polls, that the most of the Okinawans feel like a mix of Japanese and Okinawan, but they are also very proud of their Okinawan culture, their Okinawan history. They have their own language, their own culture, but they've had a very complicated history of Japan. And like I said, modern day Japan does not recognize the Okinawan language, and they don't as a different language. They recognize it as a dialect of Japanese, and they don't recognize the Okinawans as indigenous to the island when that's basically their homeland. That's where they came from. But anyways, about Okinawa. What happened during the Battle of Okinawa is that the reason that this battle was so costly and the reason this battle was so deadly was because Okinawa was a very hilly island. This was not, flatlands at all. This was rocky, hilly terrain. And because of that, it favored the defenders extremely. And so the Japanese were able to build pillboxes. They had a whole tunnel network on under the island, and they were able to resist for some time. And so even with the heavy bombardment, because of all the hills, they were able to easily build a tunnel network. They were able to survive a lot of the shelling from the ships. Now, I had a few people ask me, and I had one guy actually ask me on the in my comment section on my stream. He asked me, would I have preferred to be an American soldier in the Battle of the Bulge or in the Battle of Okinawa? Now, the Battle of the Bulge is the largest American battle that was fought in the European theater, and that's basically that. For people that don't know, it's that big snow battle that's fought between Germany and America. It was Germany's last offensive of World War II. It was in December 1944. The Germans launched a massive offensive on the Americans in the Ardennes in Belgium, and they were hoping to capture Antwerp. And their goal was basically to knock the U.S. out of the war. That was their goal with the Ardennes offensive, also known as the Battle of the Bulge. And even though the Battle of the Bulge is a larger battle overall, it's because more troops fought in that battle. I would argue that the Battle of Okinawa was more brutal because of the fact that it was in the Battle of the Bulge, there was just more soldiers, so you're going to have more casualties. But in the Ardennes, you have some flatlands, farms. You also have some hills, some forests. But in Okinawa, it's very hilly territory. And in the Battle of the Bulge, you are defending. Where the Battle of the Bulge was not an easy battle by any means. It was, our toughest battle in the besides Normandy in Europe. But in the Battle of the Bulge, the Americans were largely defending. They were defending at the start, and then when the Germans ran out of gas, they went on the offensive. But in the Battle of Okinawa, the Americans were on the offensive, having to go through these hills, these rough hills, where all these Japanese traps are, these pillboxes, this entire tunnel network. It was an absolute hell on earth. But there's also something really scary about this battle, is that if you actually compare the Battle of the Bulge and you look at the Battle of Okinawa, and you actually look, the Battle of the Bulge, even though it was the larger battle, had only 3,000 civilians die, and that's still, a really big number. But if you compare this to the Battle of Okinawa, the Battle of Okinawa had over 100,000 people died. A lot of historians argue it's over 100,000 people died. 30% of all Okinawan civilians died in the Battle of Okinawa. So why were the civilian casualties so much higher in Okinawa versus the Battle of the Bulge? Because the Battle of the Bulge, a lot of people were able to escape. They were able to get away. But Okinawa was this densely populated island, this small island that that all this heavy fighting was on, and there was ships that were bombing the island. A lot of civilians died in the shelling of the island as well. But also the Japanese refused to evacuate the civilian population. They refused to evacuate them. They didn't want to evacuate them to mainland Japan, and they actually forced the civilians to actually stay there. Not only did they force the civilians to stay there, they forced them into service. So they forced a lot of these Okinawans into the Japanese military. And that's why there were so many prisoners at the Battle of Okinawa, because the Japanese soldiers surrendering weren't Japanese. They were Okinawan, and so they didn't want to die for the emperor. And another reason that so many civilians had died at the battle was that the Japanese would actually go into Okinawan villages, and they would use all this propaganda, and they would tell the Okinawans that when the Americans come here, they're going to rape your women, and they're going to take them as sex slaves, and they're going to torture you all to death. And when some of the Japanese told the Okinawans this, there was mass suicide. So there was villages of people where they would all just kill each other. They would all kill themselves, just massive, family suicides, because they were scared of the Americans based on the Japanese propaganda. But there were Okinawans who didn't fall for this propaganda. And what ended up happening is one of the big mistakes that the U.S. made in the Battle of Okinawa was that the U.S. did not educate their soldiers that Okinawans were separate people from the Japanese. When the American soldiers landed at Okinawa, they thought that the Okinawan civilians were Japanese. They didn't realize that it was a different language, it was a different people entirely. And so that was a mistake that U.S. command made, is that they should have educated the American soldiers better. This was a conquered people. They will probably see you as liberators. That was what they probably should have educated their soldiers on. But a lot of American soldiers were confused by that, and they didn't even have enough translators for that. They didn't have translators who enough translators who spoke the Ryukyuan language. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I'm sorry. But that's basically it, is that they didn't have enough translators for that language specifically, and so there was a lot of Okinawans that surrendered, and soon there was leaflets that were dropped around, which I'll have pictures of this, but leaflets that were basically telling them that, we are not your enemy, the United States is not your enemy, our fight is not with the Okinawan people, it's not with the Japanese people, our fight is with the Japanese emperor and the Japanese government. That is basically who our fight is with. So that's why Okinawan civilians were just much more likely to work with us during that, because they were pissed off at the Japanese for occupying their lands and conquering them. But also another reason that the civilian casualties were so high in the Battle of Okinawa, and this is really, really dark, this is really brutal what I'm about to say. What the Japanese did was they actually used Okinawan civilians as human shields during this battle. So what the Japanese would do is that they would actually send civilians out towards the Americans. So like they would have a bunch of Okinawan women and kids run right towards the Americans. Like they would scare the civilians and they would make the Okinawan civilians run right towards the Americans. And then what the Japanese would do is they would be right behind the Okinawan civilians. So they were running towards the Americans, and they would be shooting at the Americans at the same time, using the Okinawan women and the kids as human shields. Disgusting. One of the most dishonorable things that I can possibly, think of, using civilians and kids like that as human shields. For, Japan to talk so much about honor, that's one of the most dishonorable things that I can ever think of, using, civilians, especially kids, as shields when you're doing something like that and using that to attack. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. What happened was, it's like, what do you do in that type of situation? When you have that type of situation, when the enemy is literally using civilians as human shields, throwing civilians at you, and then shooting from behind them. Like, what do you do in that type of situation? And what did the Americans do? A lot of times they opened fire. And I don't think there is a clear answer on what you do in that type of situation, because there was Japanese soldiers that were shooting at them. I'm sure the Americans didn't want to hit the civilians, but there was Japanese soldiers that were also shooting at them from behind the civilians. So they were making the civilians run in the middle of the open, and then they were shooting at them, and civilians got caught in the crossfire. It's just horrible. And the Japanese propaganda would then blame the Americans and say the Americans, are killing Okinawan civilians. And so that's what I'll say about that is that it wasn't the Americans. The Americans didn't get those Okinawan civilians killed. The Japanese did, by doing something like that. They didn't evacuate them, and then they used them as human shields like that. And the Japanese even used Okinawan kids as soldiers. They even had, children as soldiers during the Battle of Okinawa. But a lot of American soldiers, they realized soon that these were Okinawans, and there's actually a few pictures that I have up on the screen of American soldiers actually helping Okinawan children. But it was just such a brutal battle, such a dark battle, and this was the largest battle in the Pacific. Some people argue the Battle of Leyte Gulf in the Philippines is the largest battle in the Pacific, because that was the battle that stretched over the largest territory, naval battle outside the Philippines. But this was, I would say the largest battle, because of just the amount of casualties. It wasn't over a wide area like the Leyte Gulf, but just the amount of casualties and losses on this battle. And the one of the main reasons the U.S. also used the atomic bomb on Japan was because of this battle, because of just how much the Japanese resisted, and just the amount of civilian casualties, American casualties, and also Japanese casualties. And they basically decided to use the atomic bomb. It was probably in the plans at this point, but Okinawa was one of the things that really pushed the American leadership to use that. I will talk about the atomic bomb in my final part, in the ending, when I get to the ending of the game, and I'll talk about my thoughts on that. But that's I'm not saying it's it was necessary or it wasn't necessary, but I'll talk more about that and what I think ultimately on that. But anyways, enough of me talking about the history. Let's do the battle here. Let's do the mission. But yeah, like, if this was the if this was 100% realistic, you'll be seeing civilians actually being used as human shields.
Spread out. Spider hole! Return fire! Miller, burn the grass!
And also, the historical accuracy mod, what it does, replaces the Browning with an M1 carbine, which is better. Because it's, imagine a soldier carrying a flamethrower and an M1 carbine, that's just too much.
Get your ass down! Polonsky, let's find some cover! Take it out! They're getting close! I need help over here! Shit! Grenade!
Oh, crap.
Japanese infantry!
This is not good! Coming right at us! Ready? Go! I'll cover you!
Go to hell! They're getting close! Incoming grenade!
Crap, get us out of here.
Get the hell out of there! What do we do?
Polonsky, give me some cover! Reloading! We've got a man down!
Get going!
This is the M1 carbine, and a lot of people give this gun crap. But what I will say about this is, if I was an American soldier at Okinawa, I would have preferred to have the M1 carbine over the M1 Garand because it's lighter, it has less recoil. It might not fire as powerful as a cartridge like the 30-06 from the M1 Garand, but in the hills of Okinawa, there's going to be a lot more close quarter fighting. So, like, in the Battle of the Bulge, the ideal weapon would be the M1 Garand. But in a situation like Okinawa, in my opinion, it would be the M1 Carbine would be a better rifle to have.
Japanese infantry!
The MMG's got the area covered!
Miller! Pop smoke!
Grenade! Machine gun!
He's in bad shape! Smoke! Machine gun! No, they can't see us! Clear that bunker!
Oh, crap.
Polonsky! Stay with me! Through the case, there's more bunkers up ahead!
Hey, move your ass!
Another
Give me
way
some
down.
covering fire! Can you go get in?
Take cover! Grenade!
Yeah, this is the hardest mission in the game. I would say this is harder than Heart of the Reich. And I know Heart of the Reich is a really hard mission too, but in this mission, it's the visibility that you can't see your enemy that well. That's what I'll say about this mission is.
Enemy MG! No problem!
Okay, ooh, there we go. Last mag in this. Also, guys, I forgot. I wanted to show you guys two clips right here. well, one clip here. This is actually one really disturbing scene that you actually see in the Pacific TV show, and this is actually where this Okinawan woman is actually strapped with a bomb against her will. It's one of the most disturbing scenes.
Trying to give us the baby. What do we do?
No.
And about that scene really happened, and most likely did, because of the fact that the Pacific, that TV show, is created mostly on the witness statements and the memoirs of the soldiers who actually served in the Pacific. So it most likely, scoped Arasaka, I'll take this. We can just use regular Arasaka, yeah, to get ammo for this too, yep. That woman was strapped with a bomb against her will. If she wanted to blow up the American soldiers, she would have gotten closer to them. But she was trying to give them the baby so that the baby could survive. That's basically, the Okinawans, they suffered tremendously under the Japanese occupation. And also, that American military base that's in Okinawa today, it's actually as a result of this battle. America actually controlled Okinawa until 1972, and after 1972, they gave Okinawa to Japan.
Here they come!
We got 3 active bunkers. Miller, flank around and clear them out.
Smoke here.
Bunkers, Miller! Flame those bunkers, Miller! What are you waiting for, Miller? Burn him!
Another one down. He's in bad shape.
Getting closer! Flame those bunkers, Miller! Get out of here!
There we go, bunker down.
One down. Keep on it.
What do we do?
This battle was really the end of Imperial Japan. This was it.
Bleed, you bastard.
Yes, sir! Watch it! Grenade! Coming at you!
Oh crap.
Damn,
I haven't really been focusing on the depth cards in this playthrough, but
Shit! We're out now! Go!
that's one thing I love about the these historical accuracy mods, is that they actually, your soldiers actually have, your allies have better,
Another one down.
better aiming. They kill enemies way more.
They're getting close.
Flame those bunkers, Miller! Don't have much of a choice! Stop! Enemy infantry! Watch it! Flame those bunkers, Miller!
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Reloading! Enemy machine gun!
Get some damn fire on those bunkers. Outstanding, Miller. Only one to go. Finish the job. You want more? Understood.
Cover me already!
Grenade.
I love how the music just picks up here.
He's in bad shape! More of them! Get some damn fire on those bunkers!
They're coming right at us!
Shit! Grenade! Last one's taken out. Good work! They're closing in! Got him! Everyone on me!
Okay, here we go.
What do we do now?
We keep moving, Polonsky. Let's go. Our tanks are moving up. Convoy won't be far behind.
Japanese MC!
Let's find some cover! Take cover!
Man down!
Is that our objective? It's a damn fortress!
Move up! We can flank them! I see paths around either side! Get out of here! Cover me already! Enemy MC!
They're getting close! Keep going!
This is the hardest part of the mission, is this now.
Japanese MG! Here they come!
Yeah, that's a jump scare right there.
Perfect!
I need help over here!
Let's find some cover!
They're closing in! They're on us! Find cover!
Moving in!
Eat dirt! Incoming grenade!
Use my last smoke grenade on this.
Enemy infantry moving in!
Back again! Sarge! Tunnel up ahead!
Good work, people! The Major's convoy is en route. After this, we'll be on Easy Street.
Make sure to blow up both the trucks in this, because the Japanese will blow up the trucks and kill you on this part if you get near them. As inhumane as a flamethrower is, it is effective for getting enemies out of entrenched positions like this.
Double time! I want this area secured!
Great, more Pansai charges. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is not good! Corpsman! We got mortar positions above us! Enemy infantry moving in! I know they're close! Japanese infantry!
Do not go up the ladder on this part because it's very easy to die. Go this way instead.
Down! Down! Grenade! Grenade! Take cover! Enemy infantry moving in! Outstanding, Marines! Out-fucking-standing!
Now let's get out of this damn hole and start dealing with our wounded.
Miller! Get over here!
Hold on, kid. We're gonna get you out of here.
Help me get him on the truck. We're moving
One,
out!
2,
You
3.
leaving?
Push ahead and take Shuri Castle.
But we're running on empty here.
You'll have a supply
It's not
drop
bad,
in the
okay?
Tomorrow? How the hell are we
Look at me.
supposed to hold out till
It's not
tomorrow?
bad.
This is bullshit. You hear this, Sarge? We ain't getting shit till tomorrow morning.
Intel says Shuri Castle is mostly deserted. Look on the bright side. After this, you boys will probably get relieved and be on the boat home.
Yeah? That's what we thought after Pella.
Major Gordon's is a scumbag. I'll talk a little bit more about him in the next mission. Final American mission.
Everything that was asked of us, we've done. Every night, we lay in a filthy foxhole praying the enemy won't slit our throats. Every day we've spent
Chances of
crawling through
surviving,
the mud
1
and
in
dirt
5.
while bullets whistle all around. But this is the last time we're going to have to put our lives on the line. This is the enemy's last stand. When we take Shuri Castle, we go home. All of us.
No one believed that they were gonna go home after taking Shuri Castle. Everyone thought they were gonna invade mainland Japan next. Now, what I'll say about this here, And if you
Word
look at the
is,
date,
main force
yeah.
pulled back to the North Ridge. But I want everyone ready to fight.
This is
Soon as that
nearly a
supply
month
drop
after
shows, we
Germany's
move.
surrender,
There
so
it is.
this
Move,
this is
get
already
to it.
after the
Double
Soviet
time.
campaign when this is
Watch
taking
the
place.
grass, watch the trees, watch any damn place Tojo could be waiting.
Planes.
What I was going to say here is that one really historically inaccurate thing about this mission is that when they say that when we take Shuri Castle, we all go home. No, that's extremely historically inaccurate. Is nobody believed that once they take Shuri Castle that they're going to get to go home. Nobody did. Like, if you're not wounded and you're still, you're still able to fight, most Marines at this point thought that they were going to be invading mainland Japan. That's what basically the next step was, is they did not think that they were going to go home after Shuri Castle was taken. And what I also wanted to say about Major Gordon, that guy that you actually see at the end of the previous mission, is Major Gordon is a bit of a scumbag. Like, when I played World at War as a kid, I didn't first notice this, but if you notice this, is that Roebuck is constantly talking to Major Gordon on the radio, but you never actually see Major Gordon himself. He's nowhere near the battle until the end of Blowtorch and Corkscrew. When you take the Japanese positions, he's there, and he's just doesn't seem to care that much about the wounded soldiers, just walking away, doesn't even attempt to talk to them. And then he just tells Polanski, "Oh, don't worry about it, Shuri Castle is mostly empty." And so it's implied that Major Gordon is a coward, and on top of that, it's also implied that he's just there for glory. He doesn't show up at the battle at all, not until it's over, and just talking to Roebuck constantly on the radio. So that's one little detail that I noticed about the campaign in World at War.
Bomb the shit out of the place.
They'll be back, soon as they're refueled and rearmed. For now, it's just us. This is all we got. Share it out.
Shit! Sniper fire! Where the hell are they? They're coming over the sandbags!
Eyes wide!
In the grass!
Up there, in the trees! Bring them down!
Enemy movement! Is it?
Griffin, keep me covered! Reloading! Stay in! Orders! Get to cover! Get to the bunkers! Get down! Grenade! We've got a man down! They zeroed our position pretty damn quick. There must be spotters holed up in the tunnels. We need to take them out. Clear them out.
Get in there, Miller!
Now, this place is based in the Japanese headquarters underneath Shuri Castle. I'll actually show a picture of what it looked like. I think this conversation is going to keep going, but to any of my, Japanese viewers, if you guys could translate that, what their Japanese officer is saying there in the comments, I would really appreciate it. And also, I want to thank you to my Japanese and German viewers who have translated a lot of what the characters have been saying in the campaign. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for that help in the comments.
Come on, hurry up! Satchel
Keep it steady and move up. Watch out for more. Lights out. Whatever you need. Moving in. Key above the gate. Miller, take it out.
Got a lot of infantry moving in.
We need cover now.
Good shot. We've got.
Focus on the hill. Spread out.
I know they're close.
Okay.
I've got cover. Reloading. Get ready, boys. Get closer. You said so. You hear that? Hit the target! My ass out there! Reloading!
Where the hell are they coming from?
They're right there! He's not gonna make it!
Almost clear.
Reloading!
Whoa, okay.
Get up those stairs. Through the gate. I'm on it.
Cover me already! Look! Come on, we're pushing deeper into the castle. I'm low on ammo!
Scavenge what you can. Use the enemy's weapons if you have to.
Here, grenade!
There, in the window.
This is where the multiplayer map castle comes from.
Into the west building.
They're coming! He ain't breathing! Get closer! Hey!
In this part, there's gonna be a guy that's gonna be playing dead. See that guy? Yeah, he's playing dead. Another guy's playing dead too.
Up the stairs!
Push forward. We gotta take out those mortars.
On your feet! First mortar pit! Up ahead!
Miller, clear them out. Flank around. Grab a mortar shell and
And, the historical accuracy mod for the Pacific, they changes the mortar to a Japanese mortar instead of an American mortar.
got a man down. Enemy one down. Get to the next one.
Japanese troops on the move! Second
Now, if you're wondering, would this actually work? Yes, I believe so. When they like tap the mortar, they're tapping it against their helmet, and I believe what that does is it arms it, and then they throw it and it just detonates.
Smell the back! More mortar pits beyond the wall!
Clear the last one. We got another MG on our left flank. Enemy machine gun. Hurry, Miller! Clear that mortar pit! They're closing in! It's clear! Move up! Get over to the east building!
Crap, okay.
Okay, we're nearly there. Planes should be en route to assist.
Good! They can blow this place to Kingdom Come!
Stay alert. Flank round both sides.
Crap,
Clear every
okay.
corner of this courtyard.
This is where the multiplayer map comes from. Recognize this place?
Japanese infantry!
Covering! We're getting closer! Too bad, Tojo! Shit! We've got a lot of infantry moving in! Nice and easy! Watch out, they're coming! Take cover! Grenade coming in! Damn! More of them! Take it out!
Okay, this gun, my favorite here.
Get the hell out of here! You didn't tell me twice! Dead ahead! Here they come! Get close! Damn cover! That's the way you do it!
This way.
Now this, I didn't know about this, that you could do this when I was a kid, but you can just shoot these guys through the wall. I did not know that.
Open fire! Miller, man that MG! Clear the area! Find some cover! Fast! Coming this way!
They're close! We gotcha!
They're closing in!
We ain't seeing him again!
Downstairs, into the tunnels! Shoot those barrels!
Eyes open! Shut up! That's the way you do it! This is it!
Up above!
He ain't getting up!
Reloading!
Get ready! Come in! Get everything down!
They're coming this way!
Oh, no, no, no.
Die, you bastard!
Reload.
They're coming right at
Grenade,
us!
get down!
Here they come! On the stairs!
Upstairs, this way!
Fucking doctor here!
Ooh, okay.
Sarge, we got movement!
This is Shuri Castle, and it
Hold
was
your
changed.
fire.
For the historical accuracy mod, it was actually changed to look like what it looked like during World War II. And Shuri Castle, this is what it looks like today. But in 2019, what happened was there was a fire, an electrical fire, burnt down most of the castle again. And by 2026, the castle is going to be reconstructed fully. But during World War II, it was destroyed, then it was rebuilt, and then destroyed in 2019 because of a fire.
On the ground now!
This is why Americans didn't want to take Japanese prisoners, because of this. See this?
Roebuck! Miller! They killed the Sarge! The bastards killed him! You sons of bitches!
This is why Americans were scared to take Japanese prisoners, because of situations just like this. The Japanese would blow themselves up when they would surrender. This very much was based on real events. This very much happened. There's actually a scene of this in the Pacific, in the Battle of Guadalcanal in that show, when this actually happened.
Take a pin in him, Doc! No hiccup!
And there's also a scene of this at the end of Hack. Japanese would fake surrender, and then when the Americans got close, they would blow themselves up with grenades or other explosives. And this is a war crime, is when you surrender, you're supposed to surrender. You cannot use that to fake a surrender and keep fighting. You can't do that. But the Japanese knew that if they, pretended to surrender, the Americans would get close, want to take them prisoner, and they would be more likely to kill them and blow them up. And this is why a lot of times Americans were scared to take Japanese prisoners, because of this exact thing happening. Would you want to be the guy that would search him? So it's like, a lot of times what would happen is American soldiers would tell the Japanese soldiers to, basically strip down and take everything off so that they would see that they're not carrying any kind of explosives, any kind of weapon. And if they refused and they got closer, they would oftentimes shoot them. And there was probably real Japanese prisoners who actually wanted to surrender, who did not, and these prisoners probably wanted to actually surrender, but they were probably falsely, gunned down because the Americans were just scared that they would blow them up when they weren't going to. So there's probably real prisoners that actually got killed because of this. And so their Japanese, comrades had gotten them killed, doing stuff like this. But one of the most disgusting and dishonorable things. And as for Shuri Castle right here, Shuri Castle was the castle where the Ryukyu monarchy would stay. The Ryukyuan, the Okinawan emperor would actually stay here before they were before the monarchy was abolished and they were forced into exile in mainland Japan. This is actually where they stayed, was at Shuri Castle.
Hold the line! There's a shitload of enemies coming our way! That's the You worthless animals!
And if you want to know what is the canon ending, who dies? Is it Roebuck or Polanski? Roebuck dies, because if you do nothing, then Roebuck always dies.
You're all going to hell! You hear me? You're going straight to hell! They're coming right at us! Hallelujah!
Airstrike at the ready!
Call in those fucking planes! Blow the bastards to kingdom come!
Confirmed!
Oh, here come the planes.
Target hit! 30 seconds!
Smell the bastards! Get our head now!
20 seconds!
Try that! They're coming straight at us!
10 seconds! 5 seconds! Airstrike primed and ready to fire! Confirmed!
Come on, man!
45 seconds!
They're coming right at us! Fire! They're coming straight at us!
Target hit!
Coming straight at us! Reloading!
30 seconds!
Grab those mortars.
Get closer, King!
20 seconds!
Go! Come on! Keep firing!
10 seconds!
He's bleeding!
5 seconds!
Calling those planes!
Coordinates received!
Here we go. This is it.
45 seconds!
I got us cornered! We need some cover!
Target hit!
Keep firing! This is it! Damn. We made it. We did it. It's over.
Everything that was asked of us, we've done. Every night, we lay in a filthy foxhole praying the enemy won't slit our throats. Every day was spent crawling through the mud and the dirt while bullets whistle all around. This is the enemy's last stand. When we take Shuri Castle, we go home. All of us.
So that's the ending where Roebuck dies. I'll show you the ending where Polonsky dies too.
We got movement! Corkscrew! Hold your
This
fire.
is what happens if you save Roebuck instead.
Enemy infantry moving in!
Polonsky, search her.
Roebuck's a little harder
On
to
the
save.
ground now! What's that? Keep those hands up! Shit! What's that? Miller! Polonsky! Miller! Polonsky's down! Those animals killed him! Animals! Hold the line!
They're right there! One less to worry about.
You fucking animals!
Quickly!
Using a surrender to suicide bomb yourself. One of the most disturbing
This ain't
things I
over,
can
you
think
hear
of.
me? This ain't over! I'm on it!
March up! Keep
Red
moving!
Corman!
He ain't getting hit the dirt! Japanese MG! I need some help over here!
Airstrike at the ready.
There we
You
go.
hear that? They're calling the planes!
Coordinates received.
Blow them all to hell!
45 seconds.
They're running right at us!
Target hit.
He's in bad shape! Smash him!
30 seconds.
Pick up those mortar shells!
This is not good!
20 seconds.
Let's find some cover!
10 seconds. 5 seconds. Airstrike available.
Love the soundtrack in this mission.
Now, Miller, call an airstrike! To the east!
Negative on those coordinates. Check your status.
Another damn bonsai charge!
Coordinates received. Negative on those coordinates. Check your status. 45 seconds.
I'll keep them off you!
Target hit. 30 seconds. 20 seconds.
We've got a man down!
10 seconds. 5 seconds. Waiting target coordinates.
Call in those planes, Miller! Don't sweat it!
Confirmed.
There we go. It's over now.
Another damn bonsai charge!
45 seconds. Target hit.
Damn. We did it. It's over. It's finally over. Everything that was asked of us, we've done. Every night, we lay in a filthy foxhole praying the enemy won't slit our throats. Every day was spent crawling through the mud and the dirt while bullets whistle all around. This is the enemy's last stand. When we take Shuri Castle, we go home. All of us.
And that right there is the final American mission. I hope you guys like the American campaign. I can't imagine what these guys went through on Okinawa. I would never be able to handle it, what they went through. I have a lot of respect for these guys. These guys went through absolute hell, and Imperial Japan, like I said, is the toughest enemy the US has ever fought, because it's just the fact that they just would not surrender, and they would just fight till the very end. They saw the Emperor as a god, and in their culture, surrender is worse than death. That's just absolute crazy. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. On the next part, we'll have the Soviet ending and the 2 final Soviet missions in the game. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.